guys, welcome back to another digital moment with Tarina. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and if you have not yet done so, hit that subscription button. In today's video, I am going to talk about how to sponsor your family here in the UAE. So stay tuned. Like not having your family with you when you relocate to a new country, and also the joy that it brings when you finally have them with you. So the information that I'm going to share with you guys is my personal information and also information that I gathered from the UAE Government portal, which is an official website that you can get information about living, working, and investing in the UAE. So I'll be sharing that link in the description. So you would definitely want to watch this video until the end. Both employees and employers who hold a valid residency visa can sponsor residency visas for their families here in the UAE. Employees can sponsor their families regardless of their job titles once they have a minimum salary of 3,000 to 4,000 dirhams plus accommodation. While all employed male residents can sponsor their immediate families such as wife and children, there are some differences in regards to female residents here. In Abu Dhabi, a female can sponsor her family if she's working as a teacher, an engineer, a nurse, a doctor, or any other category in the medical field can sponsor her family. And if her salary is no less than 8,000 to 10,000 dirhams, plus accommodations and providing all the necessary documents as stipulated by the respective authorities. In Dubai, a female can sponsor a family if she's not working in one of the fields that were mentioned earlier, such as a teacher, an engineer, a nurse, a doctor, or any other category in the medical field. She can sponsor a family if her salary is more than 10,000 dirhams and with special permission from DNRD. A single mother can also sponsor her children, seeing that she meets all the requirements stipulated by the respected authorities. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll be sharing the link with you in the description box, so you can go to these official websites and get some more information. Just to add, if the father is living in the UAE and he is able to sponsor his family, the mother cannot sponsor the family. Okay, now let's look at some of the requirements that you will need when you are going to sponsor your family here in the UAE. And this goes for the entire country, whether it's in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, or any other Emirates. All persons at the age of 18 and above should pass a medical fitness test at any government approved health centers in the UAE, and this goes for all renewals of visas and new applicants as well. So these requirements are set out by the General Directorate of Residency and Foreigners Affairs, and as I said earlier, I'll be posting the link. So to sponsor a spouse, the resident must prove an existing marital relationship. That means you should have a marriage certificate that is attested in your home country and also attested here in the UAE as well. The marriage certificate should also be translated in Arabic with an approved typing center here in the UAE. Very important, guys. You will also need an online application through a registered typing center, passport copies of the spouse and children, photos of spouse and children, medical clearance certificate of the spouse and children over 18 years, a copy of the sponsoring spouse employment or labor contract, salary certificate from the employer stating the salary of the sponsored resident, attested marriage certificates, attested birth certificates, and also a registered tenancy contract and the latest utility bills. And all of this, as you see, I'm reading from my notes, and I got this information from the General Directorate of Residency and Foreigners Affairs in the UAE, GDREA. Please note that based on my experience, if a mother is traveling with her children without the father, she will need a permission letter from the father, basically giving her permission to take the child out of the home country and to travel with the child. And this letter should be stamped by a JP or notary public in your home country, and it should also be attested at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in your home country and also here in the UAE. Okay, and this must be accompanied by the father's passport copy. Okay, a copy of the father's passport stamped and signed by the JP as well. Let's talk about sponsoring your parents. Yes, you can sponsor your parents as well as your spouse and children here in the UAE, but it's a little different for parents. So an expat employee can sponsor his or her parent for a year by paying a deposit as a guarantee for each parent. You cannot sponsor only one parent. You have to sponsor both parents, okay? You also have to provide proof that you're the only supporter for your parents and there's no one else back home to take care of your parents. If one parent is deceased or divorced, you have to also provide documents to prove this. Very important thing to note, guys, that if you're planning on sponsoring your families, their duration of their visa will depend solely on yours. That means if you have a 1-year visa, 2 years or 3 years, they will have the same visas as well. And if your visa is cancelled, your dependent's visa will be cancelled as well. But guess what? Dependents will get 30 days grace period to stay in the UAE to renew their visa or to get a new one. Dependents are guaranteed 30 days grace period in the UAE to renew their visas or to get a new one. And if not, guys, your dependents may be fined because they will become illegal in the country. Okay, so keep that in mind when you are sponsoring, and keep it in mind that their visa will also depend on your visas as well. So guys, now that you know what you need to do to get your family into the country, if that is your desire, go ahead and do that. If you find that my channel is useful to you, you're getting some valuable information, hit that subscription button, share this video with someone, like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another digital moment with Tarina, and see you next time.